Hello everybody, I hope you're having a good day. Today I'm going to be talking about that strategy or guide that I promised in one of my earlier videos. I know I'm a bit late, but I'm still not far off time, considering that this is going to be something I think everybody can luck out eventually. So this isn't something like a gem spawn that's going to go away eventually, so I don't think I'm kind of late, but at the same time I'm not. Alrighty, so before I even get into this video, I'm trying to think between 445k and 450k. Let's say 450k to be safe. Generally, 440kers and above, I think you will be okay. But just in case, or for the most part, it's somewhere around there. But to be safe, I'm gonna say 450k. If you're having a hard time as a 445k and 440k, then listen to me what I'm about to say. If you were under 450k, I'm not gonna make this look like what the rest of the YouTubers who doing this look like. I'm not gonna make this look like a Disney DreamWorks movie that is possible if you just believe. That you're not gonna just believe. Let's be realistic. I'm gonna talk to you and keep it 100. If you're not 450k or above and you don't have, let's say, monsters like Romeo or Napoleon or resurrection monsters and stuff like that, I do not recommend touching this until you actually increase your gear score. So work on your gear score. You probably, if you're not level 180, get to level 180, get that cost, find out what extra cost you have for an extra slot, and do that and all that fancy schmazz to get 450k plus, so that way you will be, I wouldn't say eligible, but you won't die constantly. You won't be wasting your complete time. Alright, with that being said, what I'm going to be using as weapons. I'm not going to talk about monsters first. I'm going to be talking about weapons. What's really going to help me out in the long run is probably this Xmas gift right here. Oops, my bad. Right here. It has, I think, 30 more ability power than a regular attack. It has one more second cooldown time. It reduces the target's defense by 10 for 30 seconds. And these bad boys right here, my Athena Lances, they help me out so freaking much. They give me a lot of cost back. Honestly, without the Athena Lances, I don't feel comfortable anymore. I really don't, because they do have a high proc rate. They do give a lot of cost back. So those will be procking for the most part. I'd say around 65% of the time they work in my favor. I'm not going to say 100% of the time, but around 65% of the time they work in my favor. So those will be procking, and that Xmas gift will be helping. So to keep in mind, that's some extra stuff I have. Alright, so let's get into my build and my set. What I'm going to be using is Xmas Gift, like I said, instead of the regular attack. This is the only thing you can replace it with, I think. Severe Stake and Cross Assault. Now, so a lot of you have been seeing people use Bastard Fresh. I don't do that crap. That crap's gonna kill you. I guarantee you, on Lancer floor at least, that crap's gonna kill you. You wanna know why it's gonna kill you? First of all, you're not gonna know when to use it the second round. And second thing, when you get to Prox Athena, you wanna kill her as quick as possible. You don't wanna play games with her, because once she hits below 50% health, that's when shit starts getting real. She's taking a nap pretty much when you first fight her. Once you get her below 50% health, she starts waking up and starts moving her arms and everything, bro. She gets serious. I'm talking, she's deadly. She's deadly like a viper, bro. You do not want to play around with her. You want to kill her as fast as possible, because if you waste time on Athena, you're gonna be stuck there and she's gonna kill you. I guarantee you. You can get, I know a lot of you who probably, I can tell you right off the bat from my experience alone, a lot of you who have even gotten to Athena and got on that last sliver of health, you can never kill her, right? You can never kill her. That's because she stacks so much, she does so much, she has so much. She's honestly not the type to play with. So you want to have 2 attacks. 3 attacks, you do not want to have 3 attacks. The reason you don't want to have 3 attacks is because you're going to be burning costs like crazy, because you might have cost recovery speed, but that doesn't mean you're going to be, it's not like the crystal event that's going on. You're not going to get Unison right off the bat. In fact, you're not going to be using, with the strategy I'm showing you, you're not going to be using Unison until you hit the second wave of Prox Athena. With that being said, instead of using the Unison, I highly recommend balancing. Balancing will allow you to not get one shot. Not Master Fresh, because I'm going to have something instead that's an alternative to Master Fresh. So that way you can keep 2 attacks and you can kill that bitch before she kills you. Excuse my language there, but I just wanted to get that through. She is annoying as crap, trust me. A lot of you will probably have already experienced her annoyingness. And if you got to her to half health before you died, that's not the annoying part, trust me. The annoying part is when you're at that sliver of health and she just doesn't die. She just doesn't die. She stays there. She does not die at all. And I'm going to be using Ether Exchange instead of the regular ability to show you that I was doing this OG. Like, this is my OG set. I was generally around 470k when I was doing this. So this is definitely my OG set. Nothing has changed in this one. Alrighty, so for the monsters, you're going to want to have a certain set of monsters. Now, I'm not going to say you need to be super demanding and have like the strongest monsters in the game and all from all the gem spawns and all that. No, you don't really need that. You're going to want, in between these monsters, the ones that you will need, you're going to want some buffs between them. Alrighty, so you're going to want a monster with Unison gains. It says it right here for me. You're going to want a monster that casts Frenzy on all allies. And possibly, this is recommended, but you don't need it. Remove status alignments on all allies. You're going to want a monster that reduces cooldown ability time. You're going to want a monster with cost recovery. And you're going to want a heavy hitter. Now, I do recommend, if you can, you don't need all that stuff. You're going to need cost recovery. You're going to need cooldown time reduced. You're going to need Unison gains. You're going to need Frenzy. But I highly recommend, if you can, you're gonna need a heavy hitter too. You're gonna need a heavy hitter, but if you can, I highly recommend getting a monster also on top of that has either buffs. This doesn't need to be an all one monster. These can be between the 5 chosen ones. It's gonna want buffs. It's gonna be able to want to remove status alignments and Kismet. Or not Kismet, but Karma. Casting Karma on all enemies, because they're gonna get buffs right away, and Awakening has a lot of cooldown time. Oh yeah, I also forgot to mention that actually you will not be, if you don't have monsters in your set that have reduced ability cooldown time or increased cost recovery speed, you can instead switch them out with monsters that instead stun enemies and reduce the action speed of all enemies. So that way, if you cannot increase how much DPS you're doing, or damage per second as they call it, you can at least decrease what they will be doing, hence their moves. So that way you could destroy them before they you could destroy Skull's Athena before she becomes OP, too much of a force to reckon with, and she'll pretty much toy with your team and destroy your team and annihilate them. So if you have those, then I think you're pretty much set at that point. I think you're pretty much good to go. But those things are recommended. Cost recovery, reduced cooldown time, Unison gains, and Frenzy are definitely, they're not recommended. You're going to want to need them. Alrighty, so I'm going to explain how this set works and the perfect timing. I'm going to explain the timing you want to do this, because these monsters, believe it or not, are not pure RNG like everybody's been saying. These monsters actually have a set time and a set place they use most of their moves. Now, I'm not going to say for the barrier, because the barrier is completely random, honestly. Not completely random, actually. The barrier never activates. This is a fact you want to write down if you can. The barrier never activates between... The barrier only activates at somewhere between 75% health and possibly 25% health, and she has a chance not to proc it on either. So that means you have a chance for her not to use the barrier at all. Actually, she's actually very likely to use it on at 75% health left than 25% health left, but she still has a chance to use it on 25% health left. So when you're between that 50% health, you do not have to worry about her using barrier. In fact, you only really got to worry about her using barrier once she already used Shield of Vegas and she has that counter heal and stuff on. That's what you got to worry about the second time. The first time is somewhere between trying to get her lower to half health. So between half health and not, you don't got to worry about her doing barrier. With that being said, let's get to it, and hopefully these guys don't die so I could show you my full tutorial. Now, I'm not going to be talking about the third monster, because the third monster, she's easy peasy lemon squeezy. Like, you can kill her instantly. The only issue you should have with her, she doesn't really buff herself. She doesn't give this cooldown time. The only status alignment she gives is blind, and that's literally it. So she doesn't even one shot or anything. Compared to these Athenas are the true bosses. That last monster is easy. So I'm not going to talk about her. There's no reason to. See right there, between 25% health. After that, you ain't got to worry about her using barrier until around 25% health left. Once she hits that Shield of Vegas, you might have to worry about her using a barrier a second time. Anyways, oh man, I didn't show you what I was supposed to show you, so I'm gonna have to restart this. But yeah, she'll generally do it around that time before she hits half health, around 20 to around 75 to 65% health left, she'll use that barrier. And then 25% health left or less, she'll also use the barrier again. But this is all by chance, because she might not use the barrier at all. Alright, so with that being said, these do follow a certain set. Like, these are still chance, but they do follow a certain move set. Okay, so what I like to do is, at the very beginning, I hit her with the Xmas gift. Give her that 10% decrease in defense, so that way they can maximize their DPS. I'll pop Ether Exchange, and I'll start doing damage with them. Make sure you have a steady stream of cost, because you're going to want to at least be able to get 20 costs. Once she hits half health, or between half health, you really want to start paying attention then, because there's going to be this move. It's going to pop up green. It's going to be called Olives of Grace. Once she hits that move, once she uses that move, you're going to want to use balancing. Right there, right there. You see that? Balancing. Right after she does that, she is probably going to use Holy Ray, but it's not guaranteed. She might use that sword first, then she's going to use Holy Ray right now. Watch. She's going to use Holy Ray. Oh, she did it? Okay. That's because we lowered her already too quickly. She's going to use that Kairos Time Bell, though. That's guaranteed to happen, and that can one-shot you. So with balancing, that eliminates her being able to one-shot you with Holy Ray or that other move. So that's very good. That's why I highly recommend doing it, because balancing will protect you against these Athenas, because these Athenas can one-shot you no problem without removing their debuffs. With that being said, at this point in time, I highly recommend if your attacker dies before you hit the third round, if you hit the third round, he dies, you can go ahead and keep going. You do not want anybody to die until you're able to use your first Unison. After you use your first Unison, a healer can die. And after you hit the third round and the boss is like the boss, like the weak one, is like at least I'd say somewhere between 75 and 50% health, then your other attacker can die. But if those circumstances aren't met, you're going to want to restart, because you're going to fail. And you might not think you're going to fail, and you might think you get lucky, but I've done that multiple times, and I've only gotten just a little bit of tax away from winning, so you're going to want to restart. Trust me. This was based on experience, and I did this over 30 times to actually figure out what the heck's going on with these monsters, and to figure out the strategy in general. Also, this is thanks to one of my guild members. Without my guild member, I wouldn't have realized these balancing. But after using balancing, I figured out when they do all their stuff, and now it's pretty much easy. So right there, she's probably going to use Holy Ray, but if she doesn't, she's going to use a move first, and then next is Holy Ray. There, right there. See? That's what happens. Right after Olive of Grace, she will either use Holy Ray right away, or she will use a move, then Holy Ray. Now right here is where she has a chance to use Struggle of Wise again, but she's going to definitely use that Time Bell. Won't kill you though if you use balancing correctly. Right there, see? That's when her barriers are usually used. So if you're stressing and you don't know what her barriers are exactly going to hit, those are when they're going to hit. They're not guaranteed to be completely freaking random. So that's a good thing. You're able to identify and kind of read her techniques and her moves. Alrighty, so if we could kill her soon or later. Kill her sooner or later. There we go. Wow, this is lasting a while. Alright, so the reason I don't add Master Fresh is right here. This is so helpful. As you can see, we all have Unison, not all of us, but most of us have Unison prohibited. Now, you might be wondering, Azarath, how in the world is Unison prohibited good? Well, Unison prohibited actually tells you when you should Unison with her, and I'm so thankful that I missed that barrier, because if I didn't, we would have been screwed. Unison prohibit Unison allows you to understand when you should Unison or not. Once we get our Unison gauge back up, all of us, we will Unison. Alright, so let's Unison. Oh, man. Oh, man. I didn't see that. We might not complete it this time because not all of us use Unison. That's the issue we have right there. I thought we all had it at that time. But yeah, that allows you to know when to Unison, because usually you want to Unison with Skullus Athena around... In fact, if it wasn't for that, if it wasn't for not using Master Fresh, I wouldn't have probably been able to beat this at the time I did. Usually you want to use it right before half health or during half health. Nah, you want to use it right before half health, because once she hits half health, she likes to do that. And this is why you want Frenzy, because she will be throwing a lot of status alignments at you, and she will probably low-key throw in a barrier, and Frenzy gets through the barrier and nullifies you status alignments, and debuffs are nullified, so you don't have to worry about any of that stuff. As you can see right there, they all have blind ×3, so there's no way they're going to be hitting her at all. Now they have Confusion, while I'm fine thanks to Frenzy, so that's why Frenzy is needed for this. There is no questions asked about it. You're going to want Frenzy. With that being said, I'm going to continue this because I'm probably going to fail right now. Yeah, I'm going to fail. We already screwed up. I'm just going to continue this, and pretty much I'm not going to be talking. I'm just going to show it, and hopefully this helped out. Hopefully this works out for you, and best of luck doing this. This is the Azrath. I'm out. See you in the next video. Peace.